Today in this video I want to share my top 3 beginner painting mistakes and regrets that ruined everything. We purchased our house in 2020. It was an old house with lots of dark stained wood elements, and of course I wanted to refresh the house and paint it bright and white, which I did. So my number one painting regret mistake is skipping the prep work. You cannot believe how much I regret about that skipped stage. A lot of people imagine that painting is taking the brush or roller and applying the paint, but a lot of your time goes to the prep work. You want to clean the surface, you want to patch, make it level, and then sand it down if needed. I literally painted everything that could be painted in this house. So this panel, the accent panel, was painted white, and originally it was dark brown, and it was a glossy panel. I gave like 2 coats of primer and then 2 coats of white paint. But there is an issue when somebody hits with some object. For example, here, if you look at this, it's just yesterday somebody put this chair, and this chair is not even wood or metal, it's upholstered chair, and you see that damage. And same thing with this fireplace trims, because even though it was a hardwood, I did not sand it, so my prep work was literally 0, and it peels off so easy. Like you see here, and here on the bottom. This is the second example of skipping the prep work, not sanding. Originally it was a gold doorknob. I wanted to have the black doorknobs for some reason like a couple of years ago, and now I ended up with neither black or gold doorknobs, so it's like kind of a zebra now. Paint was peeling off and it doesn't look nice. I did not imagine how sanding, how prepping the surfaces before was so crucial. This door also was originally very dark brown, and I painted with primer. I applied the primer 2 times and then I painted white color. Since it was not properly sanded before applying the primer didn't help, and it keeps, coming off. So this is the baby gate that I have, and every time I open and close this door, somebody shh, and it scratches. Try to look at this wall. So if I come closer, you will see that an uneven surface here. So before painting, I did not apply anything to make this place even. So I just make sure it's smooth before painting, because after I paint it, it looks worse. That's another example when I didn't properly sand it down before applying the primer and paint. Oh, by the way, if you're new to my channel, welcome. And if you're interested more in home renovation projects, bathroom, kitchen, remodeling projects, then make sure that you subscribe to my channel. And also check out my playlist. I have a lot of useful videos over there. And my number 2 beginner painting mistake that I made was not using proper products. First, you want to make sure that you are choosing the correct primer for that given surface. For example, for the walls you can have water-based primer, but the metals like this one, they have special metal paints. They have different types, so you're not gonna use the paint for the wall and apply it to the hardware, to the metals. And for example, if you're using a silicone or caulk around your window trims, you want to opt to the paintable caulking, because if you just use a regular silicone, that's not paintable. Another thing which is very important is when you're choosing, there are different sheens for the paint, like satin, matte, high gloss, semi-gloss, and all those different sheens are for different purposes, like for different types of rooms. For example, if you're painting the cabinets or maybe the doors, probably want to use the semi-gloss or maybe even high gloss because that's just much easier to clean and maintain. And for the walls, for the regular rooms, you could use the satin, you could use eggshell. Some people use even like matte. Going to the flat sheen is like probably something that you want to avoid. For the ceilings, people use a lot of like flat sheen, and that perfectly hides some imperfections. And for the bathrooms, I would go for the semi-gloss or like even satin, because the bathrooms have a lot of moisture and that's a high traffic area, not like a bedroom. You want to have the paint that does not absorb a lot of water and it's easy to, you know, wipe it off. My number 3 beginner painting mistake was not using proper tools. The main tool for painting is the brush, right? And then the roller. When I first painted the rooms, I just went and got this set of like brushes, set of rollers, and they were the same. And I did not get different brushes for different paints. And indeed, you want to make sure that you read the instruction on the back of the can and make sure that you are choosing a right brush, a right roller for that specific paint and for the specific surface, because there are brushes and rollers for some rough surfaces, for smooth surfaces, and they give different look when you finish. And same for the brushes, like they're like nylon brushes, and all those brushes are for like different paints. There are some brushes that are somewhat universal, maybe you want to get those, but make sure that you are getting the correct tool. And one tip that I want to give you is just to buy a really high quality brush and reuse it. So to reuse that, you can clean it after each use. And a lot of the paints right now are like water-based and pretty easily cleaned with some warm and soapy water. It makes much easier for you to keep one brush if you wash it after each use and dry it and reuse it the next day or even like the next year. These were the 3 beginner painting mistakes that I personally made, and I believe a lot of people make. Make sure that you don't make these mistakes and learn from my experience. And if this video was useful for you, please give the thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you want to watch more videos about home renovation. Watch this home renovation series and you'll get tons of useful tips and learn from my mistakes. See you in my next video.